Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Shout out to, excuse me, shout out to Julielle. Shout out to Darlette. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Ari. Shout out to Penny. Shout out to Mally. Shout out to KJ. Shout out to, you're welcome, Tarlet. Shout out to, you're welcome, KJ. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm glad, KJ. I'm glad that the tutorials help you out. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Celeste. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Tyrone. Shout out to Cujo. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to James. Shout out to Aston. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Janelli. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Sanaya, or Sonia, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Quincy, thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jeffrey. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Pranav. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Jane. Shout out to Braylon. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Colette. Shout out to Ava, thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Theo, thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Colby. Shout out to Paige. Shout out to Kanai, or Kanai. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Mila or Mila. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Pillar or Pilar. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Jenny, thank you. Shout out to Malim. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Sandy. Shout out to Milani. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Adalia. Shout out to Lennon. Thank you. Shout out to Savannah. Shout out to Ashley. Thank you. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Ellen, or Elon. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Romello. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Tinsley. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Blake. Oh, I already put Blake. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Bargavi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Jalissa. Shout out to Kaylani. Shout out to Yeshua. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Mimi. Shout out to Aspen. Welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Jomar. Shout out to Saifa. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Manda. Shout out to Veronica. Shout out to Leslie. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to May. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Rudy. Shout out to Naya. Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Lendy. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Coulter. Shout out to Todd. Shout out to Omar. Shout out to Shamona. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Michael. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zeke. Shout out to John. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Allie. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Mashi. Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Zian. Shout out to Yassine. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Ijaz. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. And I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. I write kind of slow, so thank you for taking the time to write your name. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Kensley. Shout out to Bismillah. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sergio. Shout out to Joy Anna. Shout out to Valeria. Shout out to Mari. Shout out to Dawson. Shout out to Katsai. Shout out to Braylon. Shout out to Paxton. Shout out to Braylon. Oh, I already put Braylon. Shout out to Markellius. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Marwa. Shout out to Rohola. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Juniper. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Dennis. Shout out to Amari. Shout out to Cooper. Shout out to Carly. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Easton. Shout out to Bryson. Shout out to Carla. Shout out to Zoe. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Sanvi. Shout out to Estrella. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Maverick. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Spencer. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Inez. Shout out to Alma. Shout out to Malumba. Shout out to Newman. Shout out to David. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Capri. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to McKenna. Shout out to Gracelyn. Shout out to Sunny. Shout out to Rael. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Miriam. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Helen. Shout out to Tonuya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Alec. Shout out to Scotland. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Caleb. I'm so sorry, the live stream's going really fast. Shout out to Blakely. Sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Sharky. Shout out to Amani. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Alani. Shout out to Wyan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lorraine. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Kashana. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Skylin. Shout out to Orion. Shout out to Adalia. Shout out to Johnny. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. I write really slow. Shout out to Zev. Thank you very much. Shout out to Zev. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Ann 10 and 10 Iran. Iran Kunda. Shout out to Anne. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Janaya. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Shadis. Shadis. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sherry. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Sherry Fifarik. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Imogen. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Berkeley. Whoops. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Tate. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Leona. Shout out to Amelia. Whoops, I put an M by mistake. Shout out to Josiel. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Mackenzie. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to Alana. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Gunnar. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Holly Sue. Shout out to Sophia. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Emerson. Shout out to Alani. Shout out to Perla. Shout out to Everett. Shout out to Ali. Shout out to Yaretsi. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to these people. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Thank you so much for your patience. On to the next page. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Shout out to Silly Bunny. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Kalia. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Rocio. Shout out to Emmy Kate. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Spencer. Shout out to John, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to John. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Hazel. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to AJ. Shout out to Vanya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Knox. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Keeper. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Flora. Shout out to Tegan. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Dante. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Billy. Shout out to Trey. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Layton. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Morgan. Shout out to Giovanna. Shout out to Catalea. Shout out to Abel. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Rital. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Naja. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Arilyn. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Liberty. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Dominic. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Tiara. Shout out to Theo. Shout out to Carter. Shout out to Rylan. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kat. Shout out to Simon. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Robel or Robel. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Kenneth. Shout out to Colette. Shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Days. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Luciana. Shout out to Veronica. Shout out to Tree. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Adeline. Shout out to Coco. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Junie. Shout out to Selena. Shout out to Princess. Shout out to Edwin. Shout out to Kaisen or Kaisen. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Zara. Shout out to Allie. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Jamila. Whoops, I spelled your name wrong. Let me write it one more time. Shout out to Jamila. Shout out to Zubair. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Isaiah. Give me 10 seconds, I'll be right back. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to Iman. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Dominic. Shout out to Mila or Mila. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Zayden. Shout out to King. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Calix. Shout out to Noelle. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Kaylin. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Yusra. Shout out to Mario. Shout out to John. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to John. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Mimi. Shout out to these people. Oh, Calix, my bad. I'll write your name again in the next page. I'm so sorry. Kaylee? I'm so sorry. I mispronounced your name. On to the next page. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Helix. I'm so sorry if I still mess up your name. Shout out to John. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Sage. Shout out to, is it Milani Santai? I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kazu. Shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Nolan. Shout out to Micah. Shout out to Sprout. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Adley. Thank you for your patience. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Adley. Shout out to Izzy. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ceylon. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Melina. Shout out to Jackie. Shout out to Coulter. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Gracie. Shout out to Freya. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Nixon. Thank you so much. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Kellen. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Arshia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Yumek. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Isa. Shout out to Elise. Shout out to Harmony. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to George. Shout out to Hama. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rumi. Shout out to Joelle. Shout out to Neela or Nyla. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Demarian. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Mick. Shout out to Mara. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Helena. Shout out to Rawan. Shout out to Albert Wesker. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Albert Wesker. Shout out to Axel. Shout out to Mama. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Yo Mama. It's funny. Shout out to Suyan. Shout out to Harris. Shout out to Amora. Shout out to Allison. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Preppy Girl. Shout out to Malia. I'm gonna write your name again, Preppy Girl, because I feel like the marker is running out of ink. There we go. Shout out to Karina, thank you. Shout out to Alexia. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Mayeli. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Harris. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Jazzy. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Marion. Shout out to Zaya or Zia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Is it Miley? I'm so sorry. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Yanessa. Shout out to Mai Lee or May Lee. I'm so sorry. I'm trying. Shout out to Jane. Shout out to Ramses. Shout out to Valesia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to Naraya. Shout out to Emiliana. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to RJ, sorry. Shout out to RJ. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Jawad. Shout out to Carlo. Shout out to Quinn. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Miracle. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Shane. Shout out to Lainey. Shout out to Ralph. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to Harlow. Shout out to Yocasta. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Sandy. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Ivana. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Omar. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Grady. Shout out to Alejandro. Shout out to Lionel. Shout out to Ashley Johnson. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Ashley Johnson. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Shelly. Shout out to Misha. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Makaya. Did I spell it correctly? Oh yeah, I did. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this, or a little bit earlier. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I know I don't write the fastest, so I appreciate you taking the time and patience for writing your name. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Harris. Shout out to, I don't know how to say it, but is it Ao? I'm so sorry. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Veronica. Shout out to Ashley Johnson. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Ashley Johnson. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Sloan. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to London. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to Lainey. Shout out to Miles. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Monet Daniel. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Monet Daniel. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Adeline. Shout out to Jean. Thank you. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Monet Daniel. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Roman. Shout out to River. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Jen. Shout out to Pampy. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Annabelle. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Loki. Shout out to, is it Evelette? Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Gio. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to Princeton. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Sandra, thank you. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Perla. Shout out to Corina. Shout out to Camrap. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Gareth. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to Alberto. Shout out to Nadine. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Afrain. Happy birthday. Shout out to Jason. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Nova, I got you. Faith, I got you. Perla, I got you. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Izumi. Shout out to Elmo. Shout out to Sarah. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Marabella. Shout out to Angeli. Whoops, I think I spelled your name wrong. There we go. Shout out to Felia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Maverick. Give me 10 more seconds. I'll be right back. Shout out to Amina. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Creely. Shout out to Miles. Shout out to Jacqueline. Oh, thank you so much. Shout out to Amina. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Isa. Shout out to Landon. Like that, Amina with an E. Shout out to Connor. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Journey. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Zachary. Shout out to Terry. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Terry. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, I already put Terry. Oops. Shout out to Jaina. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Shadow. Shout out to Elisha. Shout out to Anaya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Iriani. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Brockton. Thank you so much for subscribing. Shout out to Tala. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to CJ. Shout out to Felix. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Liliana. Shout out to Adonis. Shout out to Nada or Nada. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jovan or Jovan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kensley. Shout out to Razan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to Heyrani. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Miracle. Shout out to Livy. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Eli. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Alberto. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Danya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ashton. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Mara. Shout out to Maylet or Milet. Shout out to Ravi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Dixie. Liam, I got you. Shout out to Raylan. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Thank you so much for taking the time to write your name. I truly appreciate it. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I hope you can also check out my channel at NessDIYcorner. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next time. Take care.